Hi everybody, Derek Sue here of the Journey Home. That was my personal blog that I had on Facebook. And those of you that have followed me over the past year know that I was very good friends with Ken Houston, son of Oakland, who is a City of Oakland mayoral candidate for 2018. And we're no longer friends. And I want to expose some things about him that you really need to know, because he's not who he claims to be. He is not everyone's friend. He does not have the best interests of Oakland at heart. And in fact, he has committed federal crimes. And I'm going to show you all of that. I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to be post right here on this video. You're going to see all of the illegal activities that Ken does, along with some personal texts and emails between Ken and I that's going to show you a different side of Ken Houston, son of Oakland, and that he should not be considered for any kind of position of power or leadership. And he actually has the behaviorals of a criminal, of a con man. In fact, these were not my words. In fact, words of people that I've spoken to. And if you want to know who those people are, get with me personally, and I'll reveal my sources on that. But they also said that Ken is a con man, and that he's to be watched out for. So anyway, I'm going to take you through everything. So just stay tuned, watch this in this video. It's gut-wrenching, and to see the lies and the deceit that Ken put on me, who he said I was his friend, he had my back, and in fact he ended up stabbing me in the back, and you'll see what happened here. So I'm going to show you everything, so watch everything. I'm going to narrate it as it goes through. So and I'm going at the end here wrap everything up with a conclusion. So watch this video, folks. Ken posted this video of a snowy egret in his possession. This is a federally protected bird. In this text here, back in April, I tell Ken I have the money to rent the boat. On May 7th, Ken texts me from the harbor master's office, and it's closed. It was during this conversation I got annoyed with Ken, told him that I know Mark, I could fix everything, get live aboard status put back on his boat, because I know him, I know everybody on the marina. Ken freaks out on me. Saturday, May 19th, Ken once again texts me, say Mark was out of the marina office. Here on May 27, I asked Ken for some help to make a GoFundMe video, and he replies, I'm your friend, I've been straight with you, let's talk in person. And that's the last I ever see or hear of him, pretty much. Here in this text, you see that Ken's making more excuses. I'm asking for help on a GoFundMe. And then I'm also trying to let Ken know that it's not an easy process to get that boat. Here Ken asked me to get an insurance quote, and so I get an insurance quote from my old insurance carrier that I've always used. Here's a picture of Ken's kitten, now grown up, that he tossed away. So sorry folks for things being a little quick there, but pause it to read the text, and you'll be able to get everything and see it. But as you saw, Ken posted on his Facebook page a captured snowy egret that is a federally protected migratory bird, and under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, it is illegal to pursue, hunt, take, capture, kill, possess, sell, barter, purchase, ship, export, or import any Migratory Bird Treaty Act listed species. That snowy egret is a protected bird. The minimum punishable offense on that is 1 year in federal prison, and depending on the severity, it could be as long as 5 years, and you're going to have a federal rap on your DOJ from that point on. So that's going to prohibit Ken from getting any kind of position in the government after that, because you now violated federal law. Number two issue, you saw the cat at the very end of the video there. That cat used to belong to Ken. That was one of Ken's kittens. That cat was 4 months old when it killed one of Ken's pigeons. And Ken, I understand him being mad at the cat and everything, but what he did was reprehensible, because literally Ken went to go and kill this cat indirectly by what he did, by his actions. Because what he did, rather than doing the right thing, which would have been to take the cat to the SPCA or Oakland Animal Control and saying, this is a feral cat and I need to get rid of it, they would have taken the cat and housed the cat, fed the cat. But no, Ken decided to take it, bring it down here to this industrial area. Lots of feral cats, larger than him, dogs, wild animals, people that harm animals out here. And he just dumped the cat here around the corner. No food, no water, no housing, nothing. Cat was 4 months old, has no chance of surviving out here. And that's what Ken did. So he's actually an animal abuser. He is no better than the people who dropped dead pit bulls here. Ken is in that same category. He didn't care about the welfare of the animal at all. But I get the part that he was mad at the cat. But that was the wrong thing to do. For a cat that young, that for sure would have sealed the cat's death within days of being dropped here. It was so small and didn't have food, didn't have water, but I took the cat in because I felt sorry for the cat. I'm not a cat person, long term, but at least I took the cat in. I've cared for the cat, and when I leave, I'm deciding whether, depending on where I go, whether I'm going to take the cat with me or give him up for adoption over at either the SPCA or at Animal Control, or if somebody were to take him. So, but I wouldn't do what Ken did. I never have. I wouldn't do that to any animal, and that's just cruel and unthinkable to literally say you're going to die, because that's what he did. Then on a very personal level between Ken and I, and this was told to me in confidence when his campaign started, that should Ken Houston, son of Oakland, be elected to the mayor's office, he win the election in November, should he, that he was going to reward all of those people that helped him get to the office. And that's not a big deal there. Every politician's going to say that to some extent, and reward people that help them get to where they're at. But it's the next comment that really scared me and tell me how bad of a person he truly is that he said that everybody who hindered him, who worked against him, who voted against him, who was against him, in order for them to do anything in Oakland, they're going to have to pay to play. Wow. I remember hearing those words not that long ago. We had some very corrupt mayors and governors who said that. Most recently, Illinois. The governor of Illinois back then, Karsenovich, or something like that. And he was actually, remember when Obama was elected back in 2008? Well, this governor was going to sell Senator Obama senator seat. He wasn't going to just let anybody get in there. So that's Ken. That's Ken. That's illegal, people. That's illegal. That's corruption. And Ken said that. I couldn't believe it, that he was going to do that. So I want you all to be very aware of some of the comments that Ken makes in private. And that was told to me very confidentially. But since we're no longer friends, that confidentiality goes out the door. So you need to know about that. Also, about Ken's boat. Ken, he does have a boat in Alameda. He's got a lot of issues. In fact, Ken doesn't even own the boat. He doesn't have the title to the boat. His sister actually owns the boat, and he owes quite a bit of money on it, and from 10 years ago. Also, I found out Ken is locked out of the marina because he's at least right now 4 months behind in his rent. And so usually what happens at that point, marinas put a lien on your boat, and they're going to sell it. They're going to sell it for that back rent. And so that's more likely what's happened right now. I can't confirm that because Mark won't tell me. That's kind of a private issue. But Mark did hint at a few other things, and they weren't very good. So some more notes here. Ken, when I talked to Mark, Ken kept trying to tell me that he can get live aboard status reinstated on that boat. After one of my conversations with Mark, there is no way that Mark or any harbor master will put live aboard status on Ken's boat ever again because of the issues that they've had with him and that boat. So that's not going to happen, I found out. So he lied, flat out lied about that. There was no way that I could have gone and lived on that boat for any price. So all the times that Ken kept telling me, oh, I'm going, let me go talk to Mark and get live aboard status put back on the boat, wasn't going to happen. So he just flat out lied to me all those times. And then I tried to help Ken. I came up with the money. He asked, a year ago I couldn't do it. This year, a lot different situation. I have a friend who's helping me out with a loan. But then when I take the money, that's when the clock begins on the loan. It's a zero interest loan, but I still have to pay it back. So I don't want to take anything out until I've secured, kind of got my ducks in a row, got my work lined up, have housing lined up, so that it's a pretty good transition from here to my life back indoors. But things didn't work out that way. So I'm still here on the streets of Oakland, as you see, and I'm back working with some agencies again. In fact, my health insurance, because of issues that I'm now having from the chemo treatment for my cancer, which I had out here, things are turning bad for me, and I'm not that terribly old. But Ken has turned his back on me. He no longer talks to me. He no longer comes by here. In fact, he's avoiding coming here because there was some graffiti on a building right here that I oversee. And I was going to let Ken know about that graffiti and so that he can come take care of it. But I decided, well, I'm not going to say anything for a little bit because Ken could see it from the street. Well, 2 days later, I go back and look at that graffiti that was there, and it was painted over. Ken came and covered all of that graffiti up. Didn't come through the camp, say, hey, what's up? How's everything going? Didn't park here, nothing. He's avoiding me now. So, I'm just letting you folks know. He's not to be trusted. He said he had my back. But obviously he didn't have my back. Because here's the thing. I was going to set up a GoFundMe to help me cover money to get off the streets, to put myself in an extended stay for a short while I was working on getting my boat here in the Bay Area. That would have gotten me off the streets, that would have allowed me to work. In fact, at the top of May, I went and got a job. I secured work that met all my personal criteria and would work with my disabilities and would not affect my disability payments. And so I had that job locked up. All I needed to do was just get off the street. Ken kept assuring me I was going to get on that boat, so I kept believing his lies. And finally, in one of those texts that back there, you'll see, I gotta get the fuck off the street, I told him. That was my last ditch effort to get an answer out of Ken. And what I had hoped was that Ken would be upfront enough to say, you know what, I changed my mind, I'm not going to let you stay on my boat, or I can't let you stay on my boat, is all he had to say. That's all he had to say. And everything would have been cool, because then I could still had time to call my friend Ron, because my friend Ron is on the other side of the world, so I have to talk to him at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to FaceTime with my friend. But because Ken led me on again, I didn't contact my friend to send me some money so that I would have gotten off the street into an extended stay and continue working on getting my boat. Because Ken lied to me and I didn't get off the street. That employer called me back. This has been a month now that employer held that job for me. I couldn't start because I can't leave here. As you know, when you're homeless, when you have some valuables of any kind, you can't leave them just sitting here. They'll be gone. You won't come back to anything. So I couldn't start that job. They just said, well, we got to give it to somebody else. So I lost my chance at going back to work to keep myself off the street. Ken hurt me there financially. So when Ken did that, I want to tell you something, folks. Some of you know that I had a financially devastating event happen to me back in 2008, before I became homeless. I was actually a multimillionaire. I had plenty of money in the bank. I had a home right here in the Grand Lake area of Oakland. I had a 30-foot boat sitting at the dock in Berkeley. I had my 26-foot express cruiser sitting on a trailer over at Grand Marina. Had my 21-foot sport boat for water skiing and wakeboarding stored also at Marina. So I had money. But then when I was devastated by the financial loss of my financial institution, filing for bankruptcy, and the portion where all of my investments were in, they decided to let that die in bankruptcy. Another portion of that company, that financial institution, was saved. In fact, it was bought up by another company. And so I ended up with nothing. Ended up losing my North Carolina home. Ended up losing my cars, my trucks, my boats. I lost my boat because I took loans out on it to extend my living condition, to try and secure work, and that didn't work out. So I ended up broke. Ended up moving back to the Bay Area. Had my housing ripped away from me when my father passed away. The home was taken and sold by the courts to pay off his medical debt, which I didn't have any problem with. That put me out on the street. There's one other event before that, but that's irrelevant to this right now. But I came out onto the street. Ken saw me. He started helping me, or kind of helping me, by giving me bottles of water, talking to me a little bit. But he never really did anything other than just come and flap his gums. And that was 4 years ago. He told me back then to trust him, that he'd take care of me, stay loyal to him, that there were people that he felt were trying to steal his thunder, and that they were going to use me to steal his thunder. So he told me, don't work with any of them. Guess what? I didn't work with any of them. In fact, you'll see very little of me working with any other agency other than Ken. That's how loyal I stayed to him. And but he didn't stay loyal to me, unfortunately. So I'm here on the street. I was hurt. I was actually devastated by Ken's actions. It set me back to a very dark time of my life, which was when I lost my money. And when I lost my money, I managed to survive another year, get by with stuff. 2009, I was so depressed, and I was actually suicidal. In fact, August 1st of 2009, I was going to end my life. Took my gun out with me, took a bottle of alcohol with me, went out to the Hayward marshlands, and I was watching a sunset. I had already said my goodbyes to who I wanted to say goodbye, had a great dinner that night, and went out there to watch the sunset and drink my life to its end. But God had a different plan for me. He let me drink, but drink too much. When I passed out, when I should have been ending my life, I woke up later that night to Hayward Police and East Bay Regional Parks. They took me in. They took my gun. There is a report on file at the Hayward Police Department of my suicide attempt, and they did release me, but then that was the closest I came to actual suicide, and the only reason why I didn't do it that night was because I passed out, and then law enforcement found me. Ken put me right back in that same place right after that event. And I want you to know that. I truly want you to know that I had seriously considered ending my life right after Ken did that. And Ken hurt me. You know, I was in a very dark place. In fact, I had 3 friends contact me because I didn't do my broadcast. And they were concerned for me. And they heard what my voice and my mood, and it took them several days to talk me out of killing myself, because I was truly there. And because now here, the only person that you thought that you could trust out here turned his back on me, stabbed me in the back. He won't even speak to me now. He doesn't come by here. What's up with that? What did I do? So, like I said, I almost ended my life. Took my friends to convince me not to. In fact, the main reason why I didn't is because they are the ones who provided the encouragement to provide this video, so that you know, the general public knows about Ken Houston, that he is not who he says he is. I'm left with no choice but to do this. Ken, this all could have been avoided. You know, on a personal note, you and me, we were good. All you had to do was just say, no, I can't let you live on my boat. Would have been in. That would have been fine. We'd still be friends. Be cool. But, you know, I'm really saddened by the way the things have turned out here. So all of this should have been avoided. I tried to be as honest and upfront with Ken and all of you as possible. I'm going to make this video available on my personal page, like it is here. It'll also be on my vlog, The Journey Home, and it's going to be posted to YouTube. So there's no escaping this, Ken. You hurt me. You devastated me. In fact, you nearly cost me my life. So I have nothing to lose. You, Ken, on the other hand, have everything to lose. Your reputation, your friends. I hate to do this to anybody, but with what he's caused and the hurt and pain and the setback that he has caused me, I have to do this. So in closing, Ken Houston, son of Oakland, is not who he makes himself out to be. Everyone beware of Ken Houston. That's my warning.